Here's my speech notes. Okay. The adoption process in America is a nightmare, and it can take anywhere from 6 months to 3 years to adopt a child here. It is a process that needs to be made affordable and much simpler. First, I'll start with showing you my visual aid, and it talks about what this is a graph that talks about the number of children waiting to be adopted in the United States from 2007 all the way to 2018. And as you can see, it was decreasing and kids were getting adopted more and more. Now it's back to increasing, which is not good and why it is an issue here. According to the most recent federal data, more than 400,000 children are found in foster care. And then on foster2care.org, it states that 25% of children who go through the foster care process will end up in prison. So it is a question we have to ask ourselves. Why is this process so difficult? I get that we need to make sure that the kids are going to a good and safe home, but we also need to realize that it is important to get kids out of foster care into loving families where they can have someone to love and show them and give them the right keys to success, to be successful in their future, have a good success and a successful future. And nearly 2 million infertile couples in the U.S. are actively trying to adopt. When you're a married couple, and if you think about it, you're a married couple and you went through all the financial stress of paying and having procedures done to try and get to where you can conceive a child, and you realize it still doesn't work, you have to then you choose to turn to adoption. There's more challenges that are awaiting you. Like one being, it can cost anywhere up to $45,000 to adopt a child here in America. And the time to finally get your child can take anywhere from 6 months, 2 or 3 years. And then where I found on the children's fact sheet on foster.org that there is, for every baby, 36 couples are waiting for their chance to take that baby home. So in America, the cost and time spent going through the rigorous waiting process should be made much simpler and more effective. And when I looked on the adoption process, what it took to start the adoption process, it's a long process that consists of deciding if you first have to get on there and see why adoption is right for you. Then you have to choose the type of adoption you would like. Then, after you choose your adoption, you have to choose the right adoption professional. And an adoption professional can cost anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000. Then you have to consider wait times, disruption rates, financial protection. And then after all that, you'll have a home study where they come to your home multiple times and see if your home seems fit for that child. And then after that, you will go through an adoption process questionnaire where they'll ask you different questions in different scenarios and you have to answer correctly. The adoption application alone, just a piece of paper to fill out the application, is anywhere from $775 to $800. To me, you should not have to make 6 figures to adopt a child. When you look at the statistics, like the one I found on adoptionstatistics.com, you see that 20% of children spend at a minimum of 5 years waiting in foster care to be adopted. Making adoption easier might, to me, just cause women less to abort their child. Why would you want to have a baby and go through all that pain just for them to be put in foster care and never get a loving family because they've been waiting and waiting and no one would adopt them? It's just proven children who are adopted on average are more likely to receive higher education and have a better chance for success. In an article by Kathy Payne that I found on the USA Today webpage, it talks about how in 2013, only 13% of kids that were in the foster care program were adopted. So we see, after hearing all this, that time and time again, that there's so little percentage of study of kids getting adopted. Then, if you take a look at the study that was done by Dr. Brozinski, which I found on creatingfamily.org, that the longer the kids are on foster care, his study shows that the higher chance they will have to struggle with mental health issues. And some of them mental health issues are known as depression and extreme anxiety. Now, I hope you understand and see why the adoption process should be much easier and more affordable for families here in the United States. We want to make it to where if you are right for a kid, you should be able to have that. It should be your right to get that kid and him to have a parents and grow up in a good home.